Passion of the Christ is directed by Mel Gibson. This film was released in 2004. It stars Jim Caviezel. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not very good at that, as you guys know. Who plays the one and only Jesus Christ. And so, guys, this is going to be a spoiler review. It is really the only way I can review movies at this point, is include some spoilers. So if you've not seen The Passion of the Christ, I highly suggest watch the movie first, then come back. Unless you don't care, and if you do kind of know the whole story with Jesus, then stay anyway. Do what you want, I guess. So I'm not really going to get into the plot or anything, because you kind of know the drill with Jesus Christ and all. This basically, all I'm just going to say is basically involving the final hours of Jesus Christ. So this is a first time watch for me, because I've been meaning to watch The Passion of the Christ for some time. And I remember back at school, I've been learning a bit about Jesus Christ, a little bit, not the most knowledge person on Jesus Christ in regards to religion or not. I've learned a wee bit, his time as a baby during Christmas, and of course during his time during Easter. Also, this is a little after Easter, so this may be a little bit late, but you know what? I just thought I might as well still review this film nonetheless, because I don't think I've ever done an Easter movie review before anyway on this YouTube channel. And so this is basically a historical epic. I mean, basically anything history is pretty much based as a real person. And Jesus Christ, many, many, many years ago, was in fact one of those human beings. But anyways, this film is excellent. Now, this isn't a film for everyone, and I completely understand. And I also completely understand the whole debating thing, whether you're religious or not religious, or any relation to Jesus Christ or not. I mean, I'm not going to get into that personally, because I want this to be a reviewing video. This is basically on the movie itself. But all due respect, if you do have relation or not. So, and if we could all be respectful to those and keep this a safe environment, thank you. So what was very interesting about The Passion of the Christ to me is that this isn't actually a speaking English language movie. This is in fact a different language. Correct me in the comments what language this was. I mean, thankfully there were subtitles when I was watching this on Netflix. That way I can sort of capture any. But either way, I could handle it either way. So Jim Caviezel does a phenomenal job as Jesus Christ. Plays him extremely well. Truly fits the role as far as I'm concerned anyway. And you do also have Monica Bellucci in this movie, who plays Mary, not the Mary that is the mother of Jesus. But I'm not going to get into everyone else's name, otherwise I'm just going to butcher them all, because that's just the way my brain is, unfortunately. But all the characters are terrific in this movie. The way they all act in this movie is just, it's superb. And of course, due to YouTube not liking showing violent stuff, I mean, then again, I don't really like showing clips of things that happen during movies or anything, unless if it's really necessarily. But just to respect YouTube these days, it's a good opportunity not to show what happens in this movie, because oh my god, this is one of the most violent movies you'll ever see. Like, there's a plethora of violent movies I've seen, like the Kill Bill movies. The fourth Rambo movie is one of those. Braveheart, another historical epic, by the way. There's a lot more violent movies out than you think. And as far as Jesus Christ movies goes, I've also seen The Last Temptation of Christ, which is directed by Martin Scorsese. That film I think is pretty good as well, and I think you guys should watch that. Passion of the Christ, in my opinion, is even better, because I think watching this film, it truly actually, it feels like you're actually sucked into it. At least for me, how I felt watching Passion of the Christ anyway. And what another aspect that I loved about this movie is how it kind of goes to flashbacks, like, you know, where Jesus Christ is with friends, they're at this table sort of eating. You know, I love how well that's edited. And then you do, of course, get some stuff in this movie, which, as I've said earlier, I'm not going to show in the video, otherwise YouTube's going to destroy this channel for good. Jesus does apparently get beaten non-stop, and hopefully me saying that won't destroy the channel anyway by YouTube anyway. But there's just blood constantly from Jesus. Just the acting by everyone is so good in this movie. It just feels very natural, and just like it truly feels like you're experiencing the actual real life of Jesus Christ. And that way, like, it just not only hits you, it just beats you so much what you see Jesus go through. And then you do, of course, later on in the movie, see him get crucified. You know, his hands are getting hammered with nail, and yet he has to hang up with two other guys there, just with blood all over him, and he just pretty much dies, and then gets sent away to this cave. And then, of course, he does in fact come back to life. You know, there's no blood on him. He's still got those holes in his hands, which of course does wrap up the movie. And there is in fact going to be a sequel, The Resurrection of Jesus Christ. I believe that's what it's called. Anyway, there is in fact going to be a sequel coming out next year with Jim Caviezel. Caviezel, I hope that I've pronounced his name correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't, but is going to return as Jesus Christ. I'm very interested to see where that goes. The Resurrection of Christ, that's what it's called. But anyway, but in case if I've missed all other stuff, correct me if I'm wrong either way, because this is a first time watch for me, and I'm not the most. And yes, I did learn a bit about Jesus Christ back at school, but it's been quite a long time. Plus, I knew I kind of had to watch this movie anyway, and also just to show some respect to those who do support Jesus Christ. When, with all due respect, overall, guys, The Passion of the Christ, simply put, is just, it's a superb film. This isn't one of my favorite movies per se. I wouldn't watch this over and over again because of how depressing this movie is in every single way. Like, it will hit you so hard whenever you watch Jesus Christ go through in his lifetime. Mel Gibson does a wonderful job directing this. Like he is a pretty good director as far as I am concerned anyway. Just the acting is superb. All the characters, Mary, and of course Jesus Christ himself, just all great characters, played well. I'm not going to do my usual rating down here where I showed it image, just because it's a first time watch for me, and I will probably give this an A- for now. I mean, but believe me, if I was religious, now I don't consider myself religious, but all due respect anyway, could potentially give it an A+ anyway. But I think an A- is good enough for me. There you go, guys. That is my review on The Passion of the Christ. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think of Passion of the Christ. What's your favorite movie involved with Jesus Christ, or do you have any relation? With all due respect, if you do, if you don't, that's up to you. That's completely fine. But I'll stop right there anyway. And guys, I'll try to do more movie reviews at some point. I've been a bit busy. I've been on holiday recently. Plus, this review's been a bit late. I was planning on reviewing this much earlier, but due to my holiday in the way, I've now got it done anyway. So, as always, if you're new to my channel, please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share this video, notify that bell before you leave. All of my social media links are in the description below. But if you're a returner, welcome back and hope you're enjoying my content so far. And as always, until my next video, I shall see you then, and peace.